Welcome, friends. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm Jen Hilman, and today I'm going to be showing you some CBD massage techniques for relieving tension in the upper back, neck, and shoulders. I know this is an area of chronic pain and tension for a lot of people out there, and massage, of course, is helpful, but incorporating that CBD into the experience really helps to eliminate that chronic neck, shoulder, and back pain. So go ahead and like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave your comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And we are going to jump right in with some CBD massage for upper back, neck, and shoulders. So today we are going to be working with my personal favorite topical cream, which is the Conochrysm by a company called Desert Stone Tools. It's one of the highest quality CBD creams I found out there, and you know I am a big proponent of the highest quality possible. So this is what I love to use, and of course there are so many uses for CBD, and the topical application as a massage therapist comes in the most handy for me. So I'll be just applying a hefty amount, so we don't have to be shy when applying CBD because there's no risk of overdosing. You can use it generously. And I always start by just gently warming up the tissues before I start to move into any deeper work. So just take this moment to apply the oil across the skin, using a gentle, steady pressure, just starting to increase that circulation, working across the tops of the shoulders, down between the shoulder blades, and just circling back around to the edges of the shoulders, and gliding my hands across the top of the shoulders and all the way up to the neck. So you can follow that sequence a few times, just warming up your partner's body and just starting to get yourself into a nice flow. And I am going to share with you some of the amazing benefits of using CBD, particularly applying it topically. It's not only soothing and relaxing for the nervous system, but it's also calming and soothing to the mind and the emotions. CBD also aids in cellular regeneration. So it actually works to repair damaged tissue. Now we're going to start to focus on one shoulder at a time. So you can just choose which side you're going to start working. And this is where I'll start to make some circles with my thumbs, particularly following that line across the top of the shoulder. And often this is where you're going to start to feel some little knots or some little bumps along the way where the texture of the muscle tissue changes or becomes more dense. But when you come across those places, feel free to make smaller and smaller circles, kind of honing in on where you feel the most tightness. And while this is working into the deeper layers of her muscle tissue, by working at this slow and focused pace, I'm not personally having to apply a great amount of pressure. So it's not overworking myself. She's also not going to be, feeling pain because I'm working crazy deep. But this will allow us to still access those deeper layers of muscle tissue. And again, working with the CBD penetrates deeply into the muscle tissue. So now the CBD is doing some of the work for me. It's encouraging those muscle tissues to relax, to unwind, to release and let go. And there are other ways that you can use CBD. People will take it internally. People will smoke or vape with CBD. And one of the primary benefits people talk about is its relaxing effects. It's anti-stress, anti-anxiety. It helps to calm the mind, calm the emotions, calm the nervous system. And so, of course, that works on our cellular level as well when it comes to our physical body. So applying it topically really has such a powerful effect on the muscles. Now we're going to begin to work down this line between the spine and the shoulder blades. So this is oftentimes where a lot of stagnation can accumulate as people spend a lot of time working over the desk or over the laptop or over the cell phone. This upper back gets rounded and tightened. And so we start to find a lot of those kind of knots and crunchy places down the back as well. So again, I'm just using a steady, firm pressure with my thumbs, doing more of a straight gliding motion down the erectors along the spine. And then you can begin to fan out from there, working a little bit more wide. Just tracing these lines all the way out till you reach the border of the shoulder blade. And this is kind of like taking a scan. So as you trace these lines, you'll start to notice and make note of where you feel some of those tight places. And that's when you can begin to dial it in a bit more, much like we did at the top of the shoulder. You start to make smaller and smaller strokes, honing in and feeling where that muscle tissue really becomes the tightest and the most dense. And we just zero in on that place, giving it a nice, steady, firm pressure. This gives the muscles a chance to unwind, to feel safe enough to really relax and let go. And again, having that CBD to help coax the muscles into relaxing, it makes my job so much easier. So once you get some good work across the top of the shoulder and in that space between the shoulder blade and the spine, I like to come and use a firm fist using the tops of my knuckles here and trace from the edge of the shoulder blade down to the shoulder. So this is providing a nice broad pressure. So nothing is too deep or too specific here, but you can lean in and really give it a firm pressure because you're not poking into any one particular place. So this is a really nice stretch across the fascia here, and nice to get some compression down into the edge of the shoulder. Now we're going to trace the line at the top of the shoulder all the way up to the border of the neck, just gliding my fingertips all the way along the side of her neck up to the base of the skull. Now you can follow this line a few times. So instead of using just my thumb, I'm really focusing on the finger pads of my other 4 fingers. And I can gently lean my body weight back, which is what allows me to apply the pressure. So I'm not having to use too much of my arm strength, but just making a firm tool with my hands and then leaning my body weight back to apply that pressure. And of course, just the same as in the tops of the shoulders and down the upper back, you might notice little places there along the edge of the neck that are tight. So I'll come in with just little pinchy finger pads without pinching in a painful way, but rather picking up the muscle tissue along the neck. So this may take a little practice and take a little finesse to really start to feel this. So go slow and be gentle as you learn and as you practice. But this feels very nice. Again, stretching into the fascia and just giving some good compression into those tight muscles going up the neck and to the base of the skull. And I usually like to finish with some broad strokes, just using my whole palm, kind of covering the whole area. And if you notice here, you can start to see a little more pink in the skin, a little more circulation and blood flow. So that is what we're really looking for here. So now we can move to the other side, and just know that people can often carry tension in imbalanced ways. So you might find something new or different on the second side. So it's like a whole new exploration. So moving on to the second side, we will start by working that line across the top of the shoulder. So I'll often start with, that broad palm, and then start to work into the thumbs, making circles across the top of the shoulder from the base of the neck all the way out to the edge of the shoulder joint. And you can trace those circles a few times, tuning in to where you feel the most tightness and tension. And then you can begin to really hone it in. And if you are working on someone who spends a lot of time at a desk or is complaining of chronic neck or shoulder tension, you may find, a few places here that are tight and locked up. So you might have to spend a little extra time working on 2 or 3 different places to really loosen it up. Just leaning in there. And after working the top of the shoulder, we'll start to work down between the shoulder blade. So again, using the thumbs, just tracing these long lines along the spine and all the way out to the edge of the shoulder blade. So I'd love to hear from you guys below if you know of any great uses of CBD. If you've tried CBD, what has been your experience? This is something that is really exciting, that is just out on the market now. More and more people are learning about the benefits of CBD and are opening themselves up to try it. And it's so exciting to now be able to have access to medicinal plants that are safe, easy to use, and have little to no negative side effects. That is really the most exciting part about CBD. And there are so many ways that it can be used. As I was mentioning, you can apply it topically, which is one of the fastest and most direct ways to alleviate pain and to relax tight areas of the body. And of course, you can use it internally. You can eat it. I've seen all kinds of edibles, gummies, chocolates, a variety of different edible varieties of CBD. And you can also smoke it if that is something that you enjoy. That is a great way to get the effects on a more mental level, relaxing the mind, relaxing the emotions, calming your state of mind. And so you can see here, kind of dialed into an area that is particularly tight. So the technique is basically the same as you work into different areas of the body. You start by making those broad general strokes to warm up the muscle tissue, and then you start to make more and more specific contact until you start to really dial it in to the areas that are the most tight. And that is one of my favorite techniques for deep tissue release and relaxing tight and sore and painful muscles. So coming along to the side, again, using that broad knuckle, we'll lean in, just tracing my way across the top of the shoulder blade. So now we've really covered that whole upper part of the back and shoulder. And you can trace this as many times as it feels good, 4, 5, 6 times, whatever you think is right. That could also be based on how much time you have to work on this person. Just making your way all the way out to the shoulder. Feels very nice. Then we'll trace the line across the top of the shoulder and all the way up to the neck. So again, using the finger pads to kind of hook in and lean back with the body weight to apply the pressure. And just allow yourself to feel what you feel. Follow the natural flow of the body. Follow the natural curves. And then just using the finger pads, we'll just gently grip the muscles along the back and side of the neck. Gently kneading these muscles. And again, this may take a little practice, so be patient with yourself. Go gentle with your partner. And if you feel unsure, just skip it. If you don't feel comfortable, if you don't feel confident in any particular move, leave it behind. Don't worry about it. Just do what feels good to you, what you feel comfortable and confident doing. And come along the top and to the neck. And to finish, I like to come and bring my finger pads just below the base of the skull and just make some gentle circles here, working into that occipital ridge. This is an area where people will, kind of originate some headaches, different kinds of tension. TMJ can also be associated with tight muscles at the occipital ridge. So we just work into the base of the skull there, and you can take it all the way into some scalp massage, which is, of course, very relaxing and soothing, and a nice way to finish up your work. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope that you have enjoyed learning these techniques and that you're taking away some new helpful information about CBD. If you are interested in learning more or using the Conochrysm CBD that I prefer, you can visit desertstonetools.com. You can always visit my website, jenhilman.com, and please join my subscription community at jenhilmancommunity.vhx.tv. I hope you have an awesome day. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time. Namaste.